Yo, what is good, family? Hope y'all are having an amazing day. In today's video, we're gonna show just one of the sample sizes that we have loaded right here at QuantPro. Just recommend y'all to check this out to properly analyze all the strategies and systems that you guys have and really see if that was just a backtesting lucky hit or if it's real edge. So right here in loaded systems, we have one of the trading strategies that we have been backtesting. This one specifically has been backtesting through a Python engine, not manually. And that's the insane thing about AI. This model had 480 trades backtested in just a matter of 1 minute with Claude. Just giving you guys a hint. If you guys are interested on doing any of this, just recommend that you have at least some sort of experience to have in fact the right expectations. Don't expect if you have 1 month in trading to properly and accurately automate trading strategies with Claude on a Python engine. That doesn't make any sense. But just for the ones that actually have experience, just make sure that first of all you ask the AI to do a what it's called a trading view indicator. So the trading view indicator basically shows you what the algorithm and the code is basically doing. You verify that AI did it correctly. That's why you have to have experience. If you don't have trading experience, you will not really know if the AI coded something that actually makes sense and follows your confirmations. If you do have the experience as a trader, you can go with the indicator that the AI built, put it into TradingView and verify that it is accurate. So once this is accurate and the TradingView indicator is good, you can just ask the AI to backtest it. The good thing about crypto is that Binance price feed, Bitstamp price feed, and everything are just free, so you can backtest years and years and years of data in a matter of seconds. And that's what we did with this. We first of all combined some kind of confirmations in a sequence of steps, and then just verified the trading view indicator made sense and followed our expectation, and then just run it. If you don't have the proper experience to do this, which is obvious for most of the cases, you just do it manually, as it has been always done. I will be sharing other data that I have with other of my multiple systems like M5R and the swing system that I've been showing right here on the channel. But basically, right here we open the dashboard with the amount of trades and the period that this has been backtested. And in my opinion, if I have to highlight, the most important thing is this, all right, is the sample size and the period that you have been backtesting. And I will not have enough time today to break all of this down. I will just eat the elephant one bite at a time, right? Not the whole piece at once, because this is a lot of information. They have right here backtest, validation, and monitor mode to just see if your live data correlates with backtest, and if your live trades that you execute day by day, they follow the expected value from your backtest, simple view, quant view. So there is a lot of information right here, but I want to highlight a step by step with everything that we have been discussing on the channel. And the main thing is sample size and period that you have been backtesting, because obviously it's not the same 10 trades sample size as 100 trades. It's not the same 500 trades as 900 trades, obviously. So it's very important that you guys have in consideration always the sample size and also the time period. For example, on M5R, one full month can be like 90 trades. On the swing system, 90 trades can actually take 6 months, or perhaps even one full year. So it's not only the sample size, but also how many regimes has the strategy outperformed the edge. So for example, let's say that we have M5R, like I said, and we have 100 trades. Yes, that 100 trades is only 1 month. And those 100 trades can be one full month extremely profitable, and then the next month, which is normal, is negative. So yeah, it's 200 trades, but in reality it's only 2 months. When in the other hand, if we have a system that 200 trades is actually a full year, it's better to have the 200 trades on that full year, because the strategy went through a lot of regimes during that full year of live trading. Let's say it went through consolidation periods, trend continuation periods, lateral system, lateral periods. Basically, through a lot of regimes that an strategy in 2 months simply cannot go. It's because of maths. It's impossible that an strategy in 2 full months can go through all the regimes that a different strategy went through a full year. So it's very important that you don't only look at sample size, but also at the time period that the strategy has been backtested. Now, this is also very important, and I've been discussing this a lot with the private group of students in my live sessions in Spanish and also in English. Honestly, the both of the groups are getting this information, and I share some pieces of the puzzle right here in YouTube, as you guys know, but this is the outliers. Now, this is very important because the variation of the traits that the strategy has is actually pretty significant, also related to the amount of traits that you have on the whole data. For example, right here we have this warning: 4 traits are much larger than your average. In reality, the sample size is 480. So if we have only 4 outliers, it's a good ratio. Another thing is that we will have 100 traits of the sample size, and then 10 traits are much larger than the average. Then that would be a problem because you're having 10% of your samples that are much larger than the rest. That means that your whole wins rely only on a few runners. And you don't want that, because one thing that we always look for when it comes to trading is a 100 execution rate, which is trying to always execute all the systems that happen with your strategy. If your wins rely mostly on a few runners, on a few winners, it means that as long as you miss one trade, yes, that one trade that you miss can be a loss. But what if it is one of those runners? You're going to be missing out on a big portion of your total R. So it's very important that you don't only look for a big sample size, you don't only look for a big enough time window so your strategy is tested through different regimes, but you also look for a strategy that doesn't rely on a few winners to make all the compounded win, right? These things are super important, and I hope that all of you guys are taking notes, because this is not something that people take in consideration. Until I really dove deep into metrics and statistics in trading, I didn't realize about this. And I will just trust in a strategy that relied only on one trade for the full profit of the month. And that's literally the recipe for disaster, because we are humans, we are not robots. And if you're trading manually, you're executing manually, it's completely normal that you have a mistake one day and you miss a setup. If you miss a setup and you rely on just a few winners to make out the total R for the month or for the year, you're really risking a lot on that one single trade that you were missing. So it's very important that you guys take in consideration these type of data. We're not going to dive deep into a lot of the rest of the stuff. For example, right here we have the total return on the whole time period, total in R, which is risk units, and this is the expected value per trade. So this is basically the total. For the ones that don't understand expected value, we have broken this down on the channel a lot, but it's basically total R split by total trades. So let's say you have 460 R split by 480 trades. All right, that's basically what expected value means, and that's the expected value that you get every single time that you open a trade. Doesn't matter if that's a win or a loss. I always put the same example. Let's say that you are a closer for, I don't know, a coaching agency, and you call to 10 clients. Every single client that you close is 100 euros to your pocket. Out of 10 clients that you call, you close 3. You have 30% of closing rate as a closer. So some closers say, no, I made 300 euros because I closed 3 clients. Expected value, what it says is, no, you made 30 euros just by calling to 10 clients. Doesn't matter if those clients said yes or no. You have an expected value of 30 euros per client that you just call as soon as they answer the phone. So that's what expected value says. This concept, as you see, is fairly used on sales, also in poker, casinos, pretty much everywhere where you can measure things with statistics and metrics. And obviously trading is not outside of it. Then we have the compounded annual return, which is fairly simple, is the total return split by the years it has been backtested. Doesn't have any mystery, and it's a little bit self-explanatory right here. You can see this is the annual, this is the average, right? But this is year by year. So as you can see right here, we had a fairly red year right here on 2018, but interestingly, it was even heavier than 2022. Now, to avoid diving deeper into all the rest of the metrics, because as you see, well, I can't wait to dive into Monte Carlo simulation. This is super dope, and I honestly love this explanation. So we'll dive deeper into the next videos. I don't know when the next one is going to be, but I will just say that just to stay aware. The cool thing is the validation and the monitor mode. So, for example, the validation mode, they have a button right here, try with sample data. The program just generates random traits just for you guys to see this. Validation is comparing your backtesting traits with your live traits. So right here, you will have this super cool chart, and you will see your backtesting data that you have done either manually or automated in the CSV file. And then right here, you will upload on the button that I just showed you guys, you will upload your live data. So let's say, for example, I've been backtesting a system from 2023 until July 2025. And then from 2025 until now, I've been trading it live. The backtesting side will be from 2023 until 2025. And then the live portion of the chart will be from 2025 until now. And right here, you can clearly and visually see if your live data is correlating with your backtesting data. Now, a very interesting part, and that's what a lot of people miss, is, for example, this part. All right, if we see, we have this backtesting going super in profit, and then you have your first live months. As I said, this is just sample data, but this happens all the time. So it is a sample data, but it's completely realistic as scenario. You have a fully profitable backtesting as scenario, and then you start trading in live, and then just hits stop loss after stop loss after stop loss, and that it is translated into this portion of this sample data, right, where everything seems to just hit invalidations, and then it just recovers. So the question right here is, Charlie, how do I know that a system is really just having a correction on the equity curve, or if it is just, showing that the backtesting data is not valid, I just overfitted the confirmations to the data and it's just not feasible for live execution. Where is the line? Well, the line is right here. We go back to backtest mode. You have one thing that is called max drawdown. So max drawdown, in my opinion, is one of the most important metrics because it shows how low the strategy went through all the period. So right here, it's quite big. Why? This is a longs only system in Bitcoin. As you can see right here, it has measurements and metrics on longs, but it doesn't have on shorts. It's basically because it's a longs only system in Bitcoin. That's why the worst year was a bear market. Makes sense, right? So the max drawdown on this is minus 27R. If you go to validation and you start to see that the drawdown surpasses minus 27R, let's say it goes to minus 30, that will be one signal for you to say, all right, perhaps the edge is just decreasing and you reduce the risk on that live system, right? You just reduce the risk on that live system. Now, if you also have a losing streak that is way bigger than your normal losing streak, that's also a very important one. So there was, they have another view, which is losing streaks, that I don't get to find right now. The streak distribution, yes. So this will be like the biggest of the losing streaks. But I will have to find it. I will still have to get used to the platform. You guys can just check it by yourselves. But basically, for you to track it, that's why it's so important to track always wins and losses on the CSV. Let's say the biggest losing streak, which is not the max drawdown. One is the max drawdown, and a different one is the biggest losing streak. Let's say the biggest losing streak is 5 losses in a row. All right, and you start having multiple losing streaks of 7 losses in a row in your live execution. That also means that you perhaps overfitted the data for that backtesting, and now on the live execution, it has literally nothing to do, and you're just executing a system that was overfitted for backtesting, but now in live market is just not performing well. So those are 2 things that you have to measure in order for you to say that the validation of the strategy is passing the test, right? For example, drawdown profile. Here it is. Losing streaks. For example, right here is the max losing streak. In the backtesting is 13, and in this sample live data, which is just a sample that the program created, as I just said, just to clarify, in backtesting, which is the real that we have, is 13. In the live, that is the sample that the program did, is 5. If you had your live data and you have 5 losses of losing streak as your biggest live losing streak, will be the same, right? 13 in the backtesting, 5 in live. This is good because you never surpassed the maximum losing streak in live data. That's fantastic. If you have repeatedly this maximum losing streak being surpassed multiple times, that's where your alerts have to go on. Now the max depth. The max depth is the maximum drawdown. For example, if in the backtesting you had minus 40R on a super bear market with Bitcoin longs only, it's normal that you have a minus 40R. And now in your live execution, you have only a minus 11 as the max drawdown that you once had. That's perfect because you're having 4 times less max drawdown. Obviously, right here we go again. How big is your live sample size, and for how long it has been executed? This is very important, all right? How long is your sample size? How big is your sample size, and for how long it has been executed? It's not the same. Having a backtesting sample size of 400 trades for almost 9 years, and then a live sample size of 3 months with, let's say, 5 trades. So obviously you have also the confidence score, all right? The confidence score is low right here because the live sample size is small. As long as your sample size in the live market gets bigger and executed on a bigger time period, the confidence on the validation of the system will essentially increase, right? This is your goal. This is the 100 live trades, and as you see right here on the information, right, as you can read right here, the confidence score increases as long as your live sample gets also increased. So guys, this is just a bird's eye view. There is a lot of information right here to be explained. Everything I can do is recommend that you guys just jump on quantprov.com, just enjoy the free version that they have, and basically go on and upload your CSVs, tap into all the information badges that you have right here, because you can actually learn a lot about metrics and statistics in this website also just by learning the information badges that they have. And yeah, just enjoy the free version. If you want, just jump on the pro and enjoy the validation, the monitor, and the quant view. Pretty good information. So see you guys in the next videos. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care. Bye bye.